All right, let's jump right in. There's this huge paradox at the heart of Kenya's economy. It's a story about incredible wealth you can literally see, but it's been totally out of reach for the people who actually own it. It's a massive puzzle, right? But it's one that's finally starting to get solved. Okay, so it all starts with this absolutely staggering number, over 20 million cattle. And get this, that's not even counting the tens of millions of goats and sheep. We're talking about a massive national asset here. I mean, it's walking, breathing capital that supports so many livelihoods. You would think this would be the bedrock of a super modern, thriving economic sector, wouldn't you?
Well, hold on. Here's the other shoe dropping. Less than 5%, not for livestock, for the entire agricultural sector. That's how much formal credit is available. So you've got all this incredible value on one side, and on the other, almost no financial oxygen to help it grow. It's a massive, massive disconnect.
You know, this isn't just a little gap. It's what we're going to call the $10 billion paradox. And that's because it's a total systemic failure. You have all this immense potential just locked away. Why? Because the traditional financial world looks at it and just sees risk. Too risky to touch. It really shows you a whole system that's just not working for its people.
And look, this risk, it's not just a vibe or a feeling. You can see it clear as day in the data. For that entire massive population of animals, there are fewer than 50,000 vet specialists. Livestock insurance? It covers a tiny fraction of 1%. It's practically non-existent. And what about the digital tools that could make a difference? Adoption is super low. So what you end up with is this high-risk, low-support world where it feels almost impossible for a farmer to get a leg up.
So, that really is the million-dollar question. Or in this case, the $10 billion question, right? When a problem is this huge, this systemic, where do you even start? Do you just throw money at it? Start a bunch of small, disconnected projects? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is something different. It's all about building a new kind of partnership.
And that's what brings us to the solution. And it wasn't some outside group coming in with a so-called magic wand. Nope. This was two Kenyan powerhouses joining forces. You had one with deep, real-world, on-the-ground experience, and the other with incredible world-class research power.
All right, so let's meet the team. On one side, you've got Imfuyo. Think of them as the practitioners, the ones with their boots on the ground. They'd been out in the field for years, building these financial tools and proving that they actually work. And on the other side, you've got JKUAT, a top-tier university for agriculture and tech. They bring the hardcore academic rigor, the testing, and this focus on designing things that actually work for farmers. It's like the perfect mix of street smarts and book smarts.
Let's call their collaboration the data-driven handshake. This right here is the secret sauce. So many projects like this fizzle out, right? They get stuck in the pilot phase and never go anywhere. But this one was different. It combined Imfuyo's proven real-world results with GKUAT's deep academic research to build something that was literally designed to scale from the get-go. And the key tool they built is called the agri-score. Now, the easiest way to get your head around this is to think of it like a credit score, but specifically for a farmer. It looks at so much more than just a bank account. It analyzes the health of their animals, their day-to-day management practices, and even gets validation from the local community. So for a bank or a lender, this is huge. It transforms what was an unknown, scary risk into a calculable, understandable investment.
And how it works is actually pretty simple and logical. Step 1, you gather the right data, right there on the farm. Step 2, you run that data through the agri-score model, which spits out a clear risk profile. And boom, Step 3, that score is the key that unlocks the door to finance. We're talking loans and insurance that are actually built for the reality of being a farmer.
And I really want to stress this point. This was never about just one little pilot project. The goal from the very beginning was to build a blueprint, a system that could be copied and scaled up to change the entire landscape of agricultural finance. Because when you zoom out, what we're really talking about here is the creation of a whole new financial ecosystem. A system where data can actually flow, where risk is properly understood, and where money, capital, can finally move to where it's needed the most.
Now, for the farmers themselves, this is absolutely life-changing. I mean, think about it. It means they can move away from informal, sometimes predatory lending and finally get access to formal credit.
to insurance products that actually get their world, their cash flows, their risks, their needs. It's about financial dignity. It's about real, tangible opportunity.
And what about for the banks and the insurance companies? It's a total game changer for them, too. Remember that $10 billion paradox we talked about? Well, the agri-score de-risks it. It gives them the hard data and the confidence they need to finally start lending to a sector they've pretty much always avoided. And that opens up a huge new market for them.
The ripple effects just keep going. The impact even reaches the top, to the policymakers. Instead of trying to make decisions in a data vacuum, they now have solid, evidence-backed information coming from both the field and the lab. And that lets them build smarter, more effective national policies that can really strengthen the entire economy.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It really comes down to moving from just hoping and aspiring to actually doing. Moving from just talking about problems to rolling up your sleeves and building the solutions. This is where big ideas have a real-world impact.
You know, there's a line from the source material that just nails it. It says, this is about shifting financial inclusion from aspiration to implementation. Financial inclusion has been a buzzword for decades, right? But this partnership, it makes it real. It puts actual tools in people's hands and money in the bank.
So when all is said and done, what Imfuyo and JQIT have built here is a solution that is tested, it's scalable, and maybe most importantly, it is deeply locally rooted. This was developed by Kenyans for Kenya to solve a uniquely Kenyan problem.
And that leaves us with one final pretty big thought. If this model works to unlock the livestock economy in Kenya, could it be the blueprint for other countries, other emerging markets that are facing these exact same challenges? I mean, is this how we finally unlock all of that untapped agricultural wealth across the entire globe? It's a pretty powerful question to think about.